Am I the asshole for cussing at a lady at the park? I, 14 male, recently took my sister, 4 female, to a park close to my house. She was pretty excited to go because her dad bought her a bicycle and she wanted to try it out. When we arrived, there was a lady with her 2 sons and a daughter. I made eye contact with the lady and just smiled and waved at her to be nice. After 15 minutes or so, my sister was playing on the swings because she got scared and didn't want to ride the bicycle anymore. I looked away for a second to say hello to my uncle since he lives close to us and he was passing by. And when I turned my head around to check on my sister, I saw she was crying and the lady's sons were using my sister's bike. I approached the kids and politely asked them to please leave the bike alone and use theirs. The 3 kids had brought their own bikes. They ignored me and continued to play with the bike. I decided to go up to the lady and ask her if she could talk to her sons. She responded with, quote unquote, "My kids are having fun and yours isn't using the bike, so I don't see a problem." I then responded with, "I'm aware that she isn't using it, but it is her bike and your kids have their bikes, so I don't see a reason for them to use hers." She then started going on about how I have no reason to talk to her like that. If I was going around getting girls pregnant, insinuating that my sister was my daughter. At this point, I was pissed and I didn't want to deal with this lady, so I angrily said, quote unquote, "Lady, she's my sister, and I believe I have the right to talk considering I'm not being a little bee. So I'm going to ask again, are you going to tell your little rats to get off my bike or not? My sister's bike or not?" She then got up and told her kids to get in the car. Later, when I got home, I told my mom about it, thinking she would see it as a funny story. Boy, was I wrong. She started going on about how I was so rude to that lady and that I needed to learn respect to my elders. So, am I the asshole for cussing at the lady at a park? And the top comment coming in with 30,000 upvotes. Not the asshole at all. And your mother is so wrong. And you can just go ahead and tell her that some old man on the internet told you so, too. That should settle it for her. I totally disagree with everyone who said it was partly your fault. I think you handled it splendidly. You were perfectly polite and reasonable when you first approached Crazy Lady. And the first time she was rude to you, you were again polite and reasonable. When she started yapping at you about being your sister's baby daddy, she crossed the line. And you were well within your rights and within your reasonable boundaries to let her have it. Why are you supposed to still be respectful to her? Screw her. She didn't earn any respect. Good for you. If you were my son and you came home and told me that story, I'd have loaded you into the car and taken you to your favorite fast food place to pig out. Next comment, 10,000 upvotes. Oh, this is the OP. This comment absolutely made my week. Thank you, random guy on the internet. Next comment, 9,000 upvotes. I'm an old woman. Tell your mother that she needs to show some respect towards me and buy you ice cream because you are my favorite person of the week. Next comment, 6,000 upvotes. This is OP. As a person with both daddy issues and mommy issues, thank you for this comment. Next comment, 5,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. As a mom of a 14-year-old male and 4-year-old female, if you were my kids, I would be proud of you regardless if you swore or not. The way I read it is you didn't call her a bee and you held your own. It's that adult who should be embarrassed of the way she responded and let her children behave. Next comment, 3,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. Your mom has a really weird way to reacting to these things. And OP commented below it, 1,000 upvotes. She's a special kind of person, that's for sure. And my vote, I'm going to go ahead. Oopsies. Sorry, I dropped the phone. I am going to go ahead and say not the asshole. I think that the guy, that first comment that I read out loud, the kid totally handled it, completely respectful at first. And I mean, still, I think he was still respectful, even all the way up until the end. The lady was she was being prejudiced, I think. She was judging a book by its cover. And I think that this kid is not the asshole. What do you guys think? Has this ever happened to you? Let me know in the comments. Am I the asshole for ruining my brother's date night and having him come pick up his 3-year-old son after he dropped him off at my house right before my shift? I, 32 male, have a brother, 30 male, Kevin, who is a single dad to a 3-year-old. Kevin lives in the same city as me. We don't have any family of relatives here, just a few friends. Kevin has a habit of dumping his kid on me at random times to watch him while he goes out on dates with women. So far, he's gone out on 4 dates while expecting me to watch his nephew. It bothered me because I have work commitments. I'm a nurse, and my schedule can be unpredictable. So he has caused me issues at work for dropping his kid off at my house without telling me first. Last week, he did it again. He came over at 6 p.m. and entered my house with my nephew. He has a spare key. While I was showering, and then he left the house immediately. I got out of the shower and was shocked to see my nephew standing there alone. I asked where his dad was, and he said he just left. I knew he wanted me to watch his nephew. I called him several times on the phone, and he did not pick up. I was so mad and almost freaking out because I was going to be late for my shift. I sent him a text telling him to come pick up his son right now, or I would call the cops on him for child abandonment. He texted back begging that I suck it up just this one time because he had an important date and he couldn't leave in the middle of it. I told him that I was serious and I would do it, and I gave him 10 minutes to get back here. He got back looking pissed and started yelling at me for ruining his date and making him leave in the middle of it just because I couldn't bother to skip one dang shift to watch my nephew. I told him I never agreed to watch his son, and he made me do it. He said that it was an emergency, which made me laugh because calling a date night an emergency is just absurd. Long story short, he left with my nephew, but hasn't stopped blaming me for spoiling his date and probably causing damage to the relationship between him and his potential girlfriend. It's been a week, and he's still salty about it, demanding I make it up to him and call his date and lie to her and tell her some sob story about why he had to leave like that. But I said I won't do that. So am I the asshole for ruining my brother's date night and having him come pick up his 3-year-old son after he dropped him off at my house right before my shift? And the top comment coming in with 34,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. Quote unquote, he had an important date. He said that it was an emergency. Were they defusing a bomb together or something? Next comment, 15,000 upvotes. This is the OP. Ha ha ha, I'm sorry. I just laughed so hard at this. Like, yeah, calling it an emergency is just not it, I guess. Next comment, 22,000 upvotes. Change your locks, man. Next comment, 9,000 upvotes. This brother should not have access to your home because he will keep doing this. Next comment, 13,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. Change your locks and put your brother's number on Do Not Disturb. He can hire a sitter if he wants to go out so badly. Next comment, 8,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. And you probably saved some poor young woman from having your nephew dumped on her. Your brother isn't dating. He's looking for a mommy McBang maid. Next comment, 5,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. Change your locks. 100% this. What if your nephew had gone into another room and you hadn't noticed him and left for work? Change your locks. So the common comment I am coming across on this thread is that this OP needs to change their locks, because I think almost every single comment I have read off includes change your locks. This comment was interesting. 4,000 upvotes. Not the asshole. Personally, I would take him up on calling his date, and then I would explain the situation to her, because any woman actually okay with this behavior here would be atrocious as a stepmom material and should be promptly out of his life. And my vote, I don't think that this guy's the asshole, but I do think he needs to change his locks. I feel bad for his brother, but I don't think that OP is the asshole. I totally think he needs to change his locks. Let me know what you guys think.